Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Be me. Be 26. Home alone. Wife was visiting family with the kid, living in a rural area of Tennessee, sitting in the living room watching Gangland. About 11 p.m. At one point, I think I hear a voice in the other room, but shrug it off. Then about 5 minutes later, I hear my wife from our bedroom call my name. Without thinking, I just hop up and walk to the bedroom, forgetting that she's not home. Open the door, and nothing. What the fuck, .jpg. Walk back and hear my name called again, but from the kitchen. Walk to the kitchen just in time to see something or someone walk around the corner. I call out asking who is there. All I get is a soft answer. 3-3, they come in 3. Beware of the coming of number 3. As I get around the corner, no one was there. At this point, I am freaking out. I walk the house like a lunatic, turning lights on and looking around. After about an hour, while I'm just sitting on the couch again, thinking it's just my mind or something, trying to be rational about this whole thing, I hear a muffled, deep yell, then a huge slam on the roof, the floor upstairs. Then again, then again, then again. I'm freaking out at this point. I go up the stairs, hearing noises and things breaking, and this voice just talking to itself, like arguing with itself. I open all the doors till I get to the last room. I kick that one open, and it all stops. Nothing broken or in disorder. After a while of looking around, I head back downstairs and get in my car and drive away from the house. Head into town and get a hotel for the night and return in the morning to a normal house. Very confused as to what happened. Nothing ever happened again. About 3 months later, I was in a car accident that broke both my legs and my left arm.
I was what is known as a Sandhog in New York City. My job as an operator was to repair old tracks and repatch cracked subway foundations. Sometimes there would be slow weeks because we had to wait for approvals to do certain things from engineers and city budget guys. During those times, our chief of staff would send 2-man crews through subway tunnels all over the city. You would use old schematics, and if the tunnel was so old that it didn't have a schematic, you would take lots of pictures and measurements and other stats to make a new schematic. Asked for a double overtime shift one night as a favor, because the kid's birthday's coming up. End of our regular day shift. My partner and I drove back to shop in our 6-wheel all-terrain vehicle. Shift change. Night crew comes and has to do the same job. Usually they pick up other tunnels. This shift had an even 14 guys, so I was the odd man out on account. I don't know these guys, and we have a different chief on nights. So I basically drive back out and carry on. Radio into chief that I'm doing a double. No problem. At this point, I'm awake for 25 hours. I'm pretty exhausted and just chilling. I decided to park my machine in a dark spot and have a nap on the job. Bad I know, but this is useless work anyways for a rainy day. In that dream phase, then I hear a can or something kicked and bouncing off the ground. Look, can't see anything or the can. Start thinking about either coworker, squatter, druggies, or animals. Get off my machine and take a look. Nothing in the tunnel or on the old landing. Go back to sleep. I'm out cold and am barely brought back by hearing a whisper in my ear. I don't know what it said, but I woke up quickly and startled. No one is there. Think I'm having funny dreams. Cross my arms and try to go back to sleep. Bang, bang, bang. Sounds like a pipe or a board being smashed on a can. Jump out of my ATV. See what appears to be a dark, shadowy figure on top of the runway. Nope.jpg. Haul ass out of the tunnel.
This happened a couple of months ago. Be 18 getting ready for school. I have a college class first period, and we didn't meet up that day, so I got ready after my brother and my mom left. I woke up pretty early before my alarm, so I was planning to go by somewhere for breakfast. Got my clothes together and left my phone on my bed connected to the charger. Start bathing, and halfway through I hear my alarm go off on my phone. Guess I'll just have to listen to it till it turns off. As I kept listening to it, it kept getting louder and louder. By the way, my bathroom is sectioned out. Like the toilet and the shower has a separate little room from the sink and the bathtub. Anyway, my alarm kept getting louder and louder even though I had the door closed in the toilet and shower section in the bathroom. It sounded like it was right up to my ear. Finally, it turned off. I was pretty calm at this point because I thought my phone was just echoing really loud. My house has a really tall roof, and everything is always echoing. I got out of the shower, dried off, and put a towel on and walked out of the section. I walked out, and literally all of our deodorant and toothbrushes were knocked off along with some other shit. I was really confused because I thought I would have heard them being knocked over and shit. I started to pick all this shit up off the ground. I heard a ding and vibrate. My phone was laying on the counter with a new message from my mom. I started to panic. I knew I left my phone on the charger. I picked it up and read the message my mom sent. "What?" she replied. Someone or thing texted her something like, "Hey mom, gonna be late for school." I literally was this close to shitting all over the floor. I ran out of the bathroom and into my garage and called my mom. Don't want to sound like a punk, but I was so freaked out I started crying. My mom called the police and I went back inside to get some clothes to go to school. The police didn't find anything.
I got a very recent one. Be 2 weeks ago on Saturday. I get scared easily, like even when people mention scary situations or imagine if type shit. My eyes get watery and I get goosebumps. It's late at night, 1 a.m., and I come home from hanging out with my friends, go to kitchen, grab a snack, then take dog out for late night piss, back doors in the kitchen. The dining room is next to the kitchen, separated by a big metal door. Give dog water and hear my mom. "Next time tell me when you're back, anon. I don't want to stay up worried about you." I know mom, whatever. I open the door and it's nothing there. Just darkness. I check her room and she is right asleep. What the fuck? .jpg. I go upstairs and see bathroom light on. It's locked. .webm. Knock and my little brother, 7 years old, is in there. Anon, I heard mommy in my room, but she wasn't there. Nope. .gif. I fall asleep with him in my room. Next morning, tell mom about what happened when she asked why I slept with him. She tells me that she sometimes also hears me talking in the dining room, but when she checks I'm not there, or sometimes not even home. Get goosebumps. And every time it's nighttime, I do not go down there at all. My mom said she heard me talking just last Saturday morning, talking about how I was going to buy some horse and ride it to the mountains. But Saturday I wasn't even home at all until 8 p.m.
I do have a few stories, but the first one really isn't much of a story as it is more of the experiences themselves. Nothing extraordinary happened like ghosts or spooky scary things. That being said, the creepy part of this is the house itself. This was my great-granddad's house built back in the who knows ohs. This house was one of those where just walking into the front yard, you felt something ominous about it, like you were constantly being watched. And that feeling grew worse once you actually stepped inside. I remember as a child I wouldn't be inside that house by myself. I would constantly find myself wandering outside because I did not want to be inside. Now, this house was 2 stories. Downstairs there was a room with almost nothing but pictures. It had chairs and a TV as well. Remember when I said you felt like you were being watched? I don't know if it was because it was full of pictures, but that feeling was 10 times worse inside that room. I would look around and it would feel as though all of those pictures were staring directly at me. Again, I wouldn't stay inside that room by myself. Finally, the upstairs. This was the worst part of the house, and sadly the only bathroom was upstairs. Upstairs, along with that feeling that you're being watched, you would also get the feeling of butterflies in your stomach, and the fight or flight response would for some reason kick in. As soon as you got halfway up those stairs, the voice in your head said, "Turn around, you don't want to be up here." It was so bad that my sister and I would do dares to see who could stay upstairs the longest without getting scared. Even my oldest sister to this day will tell you how scary that house was, and she's not exactly a paranormal believing person. And her, unlike my other sister and I, has only been in that house 2 or 3 times about 15 to 20 years ago. Apparently, though, people have seen some stuff in that house. So people that drove by in my family have reported seeing my great-grandmother in her sewing shack. I really don't remember her that well, but apparently she would spend the majority of her time in this little shack sewing for her company. The other ghost that people have reported inside the house was of a Native American chief in the upstairs closet. My relatives have said it was because of him that the upstairs had the feeling that it did. Mind you, I wasn't the only one in my family that felt spooked by this house. Basically, everyone that has been to that house has said that it is scary as shit. Anyways, that Native American chief, for some reason, haunted a closet. One of my aunts that saw him said she opened it up and there he was as clear as day, then just vanished. And nobody in my family wanted to walk past that closet, even before that story of seeing him was told. Now, to close this off, I've been told that after my great-granddad died, the chief disappeared and the spooky, scary feeling has also lifted up a bit. They believe that the chief was a guardian spirit of my granddad's, so once he passed away, so did the chief. I've been to that house once since I've grown up, and maybe it's just the spooky memories, but that house still creeps me out.
Only nope moment I've ever had, more weird than anything, but it creeped me out. Be me a couple of years ago. Just passed my driving test. Discover the fun of bombing down single-lane back roads. On my way home from a work night out, decide to detour to an area I know with loads of these roads. Find myself on one more run down than the others. Covered in dirt and grass, barely even see the road. Get to a T-junction. Deciding which way to go, want to head home now? It's late. See headlights approaching from the right. Old banger passes, smell of lead fills the air, definitely using additives. Figure they're probably heading home, so turn in the direction where they came from, hoping to find a real road. Road continues about quarter a mile, then stops at a gate. Padlock is rusted to shit. No tire marks in the field on the other side. Didn't see any other gates, houses, or roads on the way down here. Have to reverse back the quarter mile to the junction, no room to turn round. Decide to see where the old car was going. Head left. Road doesn't go far, before ending at a gate. Sign on gate reads, "Private land, company name Slaughterhouse." Gate looks disused, not as bad as the first gate, but doesn't look like it's been used in some time. Reverse back to junction. Nope, out of there. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for it, like an opening I missed at both ends, but still, it freaked me out. Never been down the really disused lanes at night since a friend pointed out how easy it would be to ambush someone there. Just pull up behind and you're trapped, as loads of them just dead end like that.
Had some pretty spooky stuff happen to me at work. I've got a few stories. Here's the first one. Be me, security guard at Rich People's Golf Club. On the night shift. Walking through the main clubhouse, dark at night. Extra spooky because the staff leaves the music on even at night at low volume. So ominous violin music playing in the background. Get to the passageway that leads to the staircase and elevator that goes to the basement. The elevator has been broken and non-functional for weeks. Not scheduled for repair until a month later since it's low priority. Elevator is at the end of the hall, and the basement door is to the left of it. Head to the door and start to open it. Ding. Dafuk.gov. Broken elevator came on. Coming up from the basement. Feels like forever till the car came up. Radio the shit in. Sarge, it's Anon. Someone's playing in the elevator. Stop messing around, Anon. That elevator doesn't work. Back up a bit and draw a weapon. Aim it at the elevator door. Can hear the elevator slowing down. Ding. Door opens. Fucking empty. No one there. Stood there, what the fucking, for like 5 minutes. Didn't notice till later that the whole time I stood there, the elevator doors never closed. Usually close after a few seconds. Like it wanted me to get on. Wanted to nope out of there, but took the stairs as I had to check the basement in case some dumb kids were messing with the elevator. Still doesn't explain the elevator working after weeks of non-functionality. Finish rounds with gun out.
Home from school. Dad converted a small old downtown church into a cool, urban condo-style living space. Playing around on the computer, talking to friends, listening to music. Hear footsteps in the old storage space. My dad was storing stuff in there all day. Getting tired. Decide to brew a coffee. Yell, "Hey, Dad, want a coffee?" No footsteps. They start again seconds later. "Coffee or what?" No answer. So screw it. Brewing coffee. Looking out the window. It dawns on me that my dad's car isn't in the driveway or on the street. I then realized hours before he said he was going to my grandmother's. I can still hear the footsteps. I run to my dad's office where he has a handgun. I get it and run back to the stairs that leads up to a door to the storage. There's also another staircase and door that's on the outside. My adrenaline is flowing, thinking we are being robbed. I sneak up the stairs to the door. I rip it open and hit the light switch. No one is there, and the outside door is shut. There's nowhere to hide in the storage space, so I realize it must have been something explainable for the noise. I walk towards the window to see if it is loose. I hear 2 heavy and quick footsteps, and the door slams and the light is turned off. "Hey!" I point my gun and walk towards the door attentively. Open it and look out over the living room from the stairs. Nothing. Head down and do a room-to-room check. Hear footsteps again in the attic just like before. Put the gun away and leave the house. Stay at girl's house. I told my dad, and he said word for word, "Oh, it's just an old lost spirit. Nothing to worry about. Don't stay overnight anymore."
This visual is burned into my brain probably for life. So, yeah, I got that going for me. 10 or 11. Staying at the fam's cabin. Really just a house in the woods. Nothing rustic about it. First floor main area shaped like an L. Living room and kitchen are connected with a small nook off the kitchen. Watching a movie on the couch in the living room. Couch faces large, shadeless window. Pitch black out and all the lights are on. So window basically a mirror. Something about the window catches my peripheral vision. Divert my attention from the TV to the window. In the reflection, I see an enormous figure standing in the nook off the kitchen facing the window. Looks like wearing a dark grey hooded cloak. Tip of the hood nearly touches the ceiling, putting it at about 9 feet tall. No face to be seen, only darkness. Just standing there. Look away for an instant while having nope conniption. Things gone. Never saw it again. The cabin and surrounding woods were pretty creepy, but don't think I had anything else like that happen. Although, thinking about it, I seem to vaguely remember noping out with the kid I used to hang out with that lived up there. Something involving the crawl space upstairs.
I've seen something similar twice in my life now. First time was when I was younger, though not too young. Must have been about 12 or so. My grandma saw it too. It was standing next to her. I was sitting in the living room at the time. Grandma was in the kitchen, standing in front of the sink, which was directly behind me. Kitchen and living room area were attached. I heard something drop hard and break. A ceramic dish of sorts. Don't remember what, but anyways. Looked back and saw it standing next to Grandma, who was frozen in spots staring at it. And similarly to your story, once my eyes were off of it. I swear I looked away for half a second, that was it. It was gone. There was always weird shit like that happening at Grandma's house, and it must have been that way for quite a while in her life because it never really seemed to excite her, neither in a negative nor positive way. It was just a fact of life to her, I guess. Second time was during an out-of-body experience. It was seemingly feeding on a person's body, or at least that's what it seemed to be doing. There's a story posted by a man on YouTube which is very similar to this, except that he attacks it and tries to fuck it up. I wonder what the fuck they are.
I'm a skeptic myself. I chalk it up to being spaced out on the movie and the recessed lighting in the cabin. Makes a good spooky, though. But for your speculative enjoyment, the area did have a bit of a strange history. No native tribes had any settlements in the area, but a handful started hunting for bison there in the early 1800s. This is before the white man showed up, save a few furriers. The cabin is built on the side of a large plateau. From the top of the plateau, one can survey most of the area, so it was a pretty popular hangout. I used to go up there to look for tools they'd left behind with much success. At the bottom is a glacial lake. Middle of the summer, you can't swim in this lake, it's too goddamned cold. Anyway, the tribes got into it pretty frequently. Lots of bloodshed every year. One particular year, a group of Cheyenne warriors raided a band of Utes camping on the lake. The Utes sent their women and children off on canoes to wait out the battle on the lake. Unfortunately, it's also a crater lake and is prone to sudden heavy winds. One such wind came up and capsized the canoes. All aboard perished. The Utes developed heavy superstition around the lake. Naturally, they quit hunting there. What's odd is that all tribes that frequented the area quit hunting there not long thereafter, though there was still plenty of elk and bison, and the white man had still yet to show up.
B11. Mother went somewhere. My prepubescent mind didn't bother with details. Sent me to stay with my grandmother for the night. Sleep on the couch in the living room. Surrounded by New York Yankees memorabilia. Suddenly wide awake. Yankees clock said it was around 3:45 a.m. Sit there with eyes closed for a few moments. Suddenly, I hear a whisper coming from the doorway between the living room and kitchen. Come back. Flip shit. keep eyes focused on that doorway until grandparents got up. Get home later that day, all goes as normal. Go to sleep in my own bed later that night, get woken up around the same time. Whisper from next to my bed, just above my head. I'm happy you're here now. Eyes open. Blink and you're dead. .jpg. Over years, it continues, very infrequently after that point. I'll wake up to random things being whispered, from friendly talk to nonsensical mumbling. Night before a day, I fractured my skull, skateboarding, when I was 14. You'll get through, don't worry. After that, it got more infrequent until I was 16. Was home alone late night playing video. Was in a loading screen, so shit is dead quiet. I'm going now, take care. It's been 5 years since. Have had conflicting emotions over it whenever I think about it.
Me decide to have a bath. Put the water on. Immersion tank takes 2 hours. Decide I'll go get beers. Come back and leave beers on the counter. Open one while waiting on water. Go up, start running bath. Hear a clicking sound. Is that my boiler? As I turn the water off, it stops. Turn tap back on, listen better. Clicking starts again. That's coming from downstairs. Go down to check it stops as I get to the sitting room door. Go back up for whatever reason. Starts again. Can hear it better. It's coming from the kitchen. Go in to see what's what. Remember thinking maybe one of the lads maybe came in and was helping themselves to a beer. Look around the kitchen and look at my beers, realizing the sound was the ring pull being tapped. Closer inspection of beers. Ring pulls are all standing up dead straight, but cans aren't open. What the fuck? Feel chill all over me, throw them in fridge, lock front door, have bath. All goes well for the rest of the day and night. About 3 a.m., there's a knock at the door. Think nothing of it. Go down. Open up, nobody there. Head into the street. Not a sinner out. Go back in and up to the Liba. Till I fall asleep, I hear someone walking around in heels in the sitting room. Did not go down to investigate, hid in bed.
Be me some 6 or 7 years ago. Sitting around in the townhouse my partner and I were renting, waiting for him to come home. Hear his car pull up, his keys in the door, and then the front door opening. It made this really loud, obvious groaning sound. There was nothing else like it in the house. And what sounded like him hanging his bag up and throwing his keys in the key bowl. Call out to him, no answer. Call out again, same. Think something's wrong and he's sulking. So I get off my ass and head towards the foyer. Dude ain't there. Neither is his bag or his keys. Sticking my head out the door. His car is not in the driveway. Feel really uneasy. Hide out in the cafe across the street until I really do see him come home. Things like this happened a few times. I'd come home and hear the shower running, but then it wouldn't be. Or I'd hear him talking or laughing, but he wasn't even home. Once I came in after work, and I really needed the restroom, so I said a quick hey to him on the couch, and ran to the bathroom. Came back, and he wasn't there. He hadn't been there for an hour because he was helping our elderly neighbour fix something. I thought I was going crazy. He thought I was too. Until he came home one day and saw me napping in the bedroom, decided to leave me be, because we were going out until late that night. But then I came home from the comic book store down the street. Of course, he wanted to move ASAP after that. Some weird doppelganger shit going on in that place. Or a gas leak. Who knows?
Be very young, like maybe 4 or 5. Staying at grandmother's house while we are in process of moving. Have to sleep alone upstairs. Wake up at night and hear someone coming up the stairs. Call out Tommy, as I think it's my brother. Hear a sick, raspy breathing, followed by lip smacking and then moaning. Look out open bedroom down dark hallway. See hunched over shape slowly ascending staircase. I'm literally paralyzed with fear. I still remember that kind of fear, primal, blinding in its ferocity. I remember the words it started to say to me as it shambled down the hall toward my room, but I honestly can't type them. I'm literally tearing up as I think about them. I could see it out there in the dim hall light. It was a woman, a very, very old woman, like mummified woman. I start crying. Suddenly, from down the hall, my grandma appears, leaning on her cane. "Edith, you'll not touch him." The old hag stops in the hall. "You will leave this house, Edith. You no longer live here." I pass out. The next morning, it all felt like a dream, but I ask my grandma anyway. Hesitantly, she says it was just an old witch who used to live in the house before my grandparents bought it in the 50s. Tells me to never speak of it again. Nothing strange ever happened in that house again.
The house I grew up had a backyard that connected with the neighbour's backyard and workshop. Our neighbour was a kind old man who was a carpenter, mostly because it was his hobby. Sometimes he worked at night. You could hear a kind of muffled sound of him hammering or moving stuff around. Even at 2 or 3 a.m. you could hear him working. We didn't care about the noise. It wasn't bothering, and he was a kind, old, lonely man. He died when I was 8 or 9 from a heart attack, and my parents took us to the funeral. His son put the house up for sale, but he was asking way too much money, according to my dad. And the house was alone and empty with only the "for sale" announcement on the front. A couple of months later, I woke up around 3 a.m. and went to the kitchen for some water. It was a quiet night. However, there was something odd. Something didn't feel right. Then I noticed, since I was used to the noise, I didn't pay attention at first. But there it was. I could hear clearly the sound of the old man working in his workshop. Went straight to bed and couldn't sleep. A year or so after my dad retired and we moved, I told my mum about what I heard that night. I was sure she wouldn't believe me. She just said, "Yes, I heard him several nights too."
This one is kinda lame because it ends in wow, it's fucking nothing.jpg. But it still made me shit my pants. Live in big house, huge windows. Can't see out, but anyone can see in at night. Always feel like I'm being watched. I'm a huge coward. Home alone one night, dog starts flipping shit. Whatever, she's always barking at rabbits and shit. Check on her anyway. She's focused on the back door, hair between her shoulder blades sticking up. Fuck this. It's nothing has to be nothing. Go back to my room, lock the door, hide under a blanket at the computer. Some time passes. Go to the kitchen, get a drink, walk toward the room, get to the hallway. Hear someone whistle from the dark corner, my back to the corner. 100% sure it wasn't in my head. Someone is 10 feet away from me in the dark in my house, and they just whistled at me. Freeze in place for a good 30 seconds. My entire body petrified with fear. Thought I was about to die. Walk back to my room trying to pretend I didn't hear anything. Lock the door, load the 12 gauge. Stand in room holding shotgun at the door about to piss my pants. The phone lights up. Pick it up sheepishly. Snapchat from my friend. He's sitting on my couch watching TV. Holy shit. I went out there and almost beat him to death, and he thought he was the funniest fucker ever. That was the most terrifying moment of my life. I knew beyond a single shred of doubt someone was in my house, and they were looking right at me. I can't begin to explain the feeling of fear.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.